Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here, doing my reaction for the PlayStation event. We are I 2 for 2 on events. Nintendo Direct was last week. Simply put, it bored me so much I didn't bother editing my actual reaction. So there will be like one clip, which will probably end up being up after this. I just realized I have my audio on. I can hear. What the F? I don't know if you heard that. That freaked me out. I heard my phone vibrate. It's like it's not even on the same table. I was like, what is happening? Anyway, random thing. Excited for this. Wear my Happy Memories memory card PlayStation shirt. We got, Kratos and Boy in the background. I don't think it's gonna happen this year. It's very unfortunate, but I want it to happen. I'm just not, 2021 would be great. PS5, God of War 2, fantastic. I don't think it's happening, but we'll see what happens. I'm super far behind on this, by the way. Took me like an hour because I never record. I've tried to officially like set up what I didn't know it was starting. I didn't know I hit play. All right, so I had to redo it because aside from the fact that I didn't know I hit the button and it restarted it, I realized because it did that, I wasn't prepared, so it wasn't even on the actual game.
Shocking events that will change the course of your life.
That last part might have been a hair dramatic, but there's lots of awesome updates and additions coming.
That looked amazing.
Bandicoot 4, it's about time experience on PlayStation.
I don't think
5.
it'll make me buy the game.
Hey everyone,
but that looks good.
Creative producer at Toys for Bob. I'm here to give you the feature rundown on Crash Bandicoot 4 on PS5. That includes 4K at 60 frames per second, adaptive triggers, 3D audio, and more.
Let's make this fun.
Picking up where Crash Bandicoot Warp left off, in Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. We find the evil masterminds Neocortex and Dr. Entropy escaping a once-thought inescapable interdimensional prison, leaving giant holes in the universe. What follows is a mind-bending adventure for Crash and his marsupial pals. We designed Crash Bandicoot 4 to leap off your screen.
Really nice.
With bold, vibrant environments and characters.
But that looks really
Crash
good.
Bandicoot has always looked pretty suave. But wait until you see
this is 1080p.
native 4K at 60 frames per second. With
Targeting
universe on your shoulders,
60 frames.
Probably some errands to run. There's little time to wait on loading screens. The DualSense wireless controllers bring adaptive triggers to your fingertips, so you can feel the blast of Neocortex's DNA-changing ray gun, or feel the grip when you grapple a Tana's hookshot.
I'm so excited to get a PS5 to mess with these freaking adaptive triggers. I want that so bad.
Looking to get fully immersed in the Crash Bandicoot universe? Crank it up to 11 and take your audio into an all-new dimension with enhanced 3D audio.
Compatible headset.
Achieving the infamous 106% completion is the sign of a true Bandicoot master. But should our genetically mutated marsupial lose his way? Leverage PlayStation 5 activity cards to track your progress and hit your goals for things like time trials, flashback levels, and boss fights. I bet Entropy wishes he had that. Even bring your incomplete save over from the PlayStation 4 and use the activity cards to get to 106%. Oh, and one more thing. If you own the PS4 version of the game, an upgrade option is available. Check out the PlayStation blog for full details. Whether it's your first playthrough or your 100th, there's no better time to experience Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time on PlayStation 5.
I wonder if they'll end up making a Crash 5.
Welcome back, Crash. The gang's all here on today's new edition of State of Play. We've got some great updates lined up for you.
Okay, let's see some
First,
news.
let's check out the latest.
I was hoping for this one. I am eagerly anticipating this one.
From PlayStation Studios.
They just released a trailer for it that was like a minute long. I was like,
excited to give you
this is good. I was hoping we get more of this.
In Returnal, you will play as Celine, an Astra scout who crash lands on an alien planet, Atropos, after receiving a mysterious signal, White Shadow. Players will explore this inscrutable, dark planet in search for answers and unfold mysteries.
I hope this has a photo mode. Every game should, but this game I feel like could really benefit from a photo mode.
Is key to survival in Returnal.
She dead. She about to die. It's very interesting watching this character run around, and it's like these things seem like they should be in like Doom or something. Like
With the large
that
variety of
specifically.
enemies and the vast number of unique
Of course, I hit my
movesets each
mic.
possess, combat situations prove challenging no matter what the circumstances are. Death is only the beginning.
That reminded me of the movie Edge of Tomorrow, which they changed
Every
to Live, Die,
time you die
Repeat,
and
but
restart,
that movie, the
the
Tom
world
Cruise
will
movie.
change. The map will be different, enemies will appear in new locations and in differing numbers, so you have to think fast and adapt. Here you can see the use of the lightning alt fire, which is great for crowd control. This is one of many alt fires that you can acquire in the game.
That's cool. It gives me like a really old school arcadey feel with that weird sort of. Some of the weapons give me like a bullet hell vibe, and
You
I'm
will
like,
stumble
huh.
across
Give me
mysterious
like old school
devices
feels.
that can grant rewards to the player. These will vary from weapons,
Stick your hand in.
consumables, and upgrades, and they can completely change your playstyle and make each cycle feel unique. Besides the intense combat, Returnal also has a deep and engaging narrative. We allow players to piece together the puzzle that is the story of Celine. As
Yep,
they
there's the
venture
house.
Deeper and deeper into Atropos and into her personal
Look at the White
nightmare.
Shadow broadcast.
That can't be here.
Yeah, that was in the trailer, and I was like, as soon as that scene came up, I was like, I need this. I think I need this game.
They're corroded. Some parts are missing, others seem
Altered.
manufactured.
That seems so cool to me.
The torment, feeling like I was losing my mind. There's no comfort here. No safe space. Exactly as I left it.
I was gonna say I hope we get a demo, but I don't have a PlayStation 5, so that's irrelevant, I guess.
Returnal
like the,
lands on April 30th, and it's developed by the talented team at Housemarque.
It's like RE5. RE5.
Next,
Wow.
let's take a closer
Resident
look at
Evil
a
8.
high-impact new PS4
Oh.
game called Knockout City.
This is a dodgeball game, isn't it? Yeah. I thought that was Switch exclusive. I'm not gonna lie. I thought for sure. I'm like, this is like the
Hi, I'm Josh from Bellin Studios.
bubblegum game they
We're an
had.
indie
I thought
developer
for
based in upstate
sure.
New York, and we recently announced Knockout City, a team-based multiplayer action game for
Interesting.
PS4 where rival crews settle their scores with epic dodgeball battles.
I thought this was gonna be free to play, and now it's on
Knockout City
multiple
is easy to
consoles,
pick up and
and
play.
I
There's
don't
a
know if
lot of
that's the
depth
case
here for those
anymore.
who've got the skills. In our 1v1 face-off mode, you'll go head-to-head in a constantly shrinking battleground, relying on your reflexes and abilities to knock out an opponent. A well-timed catch powers up the ball, making it easier to land a hit. Use trick shots to lob a ball over a ledge or hook it around a corner.
I'll play it if it's free.
Fake a throw to mess up your opponent's timing and knock them out before they can recover. When you're in a tough spot with a ball flying your way, a last-second dodge is the difference between getting knocked out and staying in the
I
fight.
can see it being fun though.
If you're nervous
Team-wise,
about you,
I
you
could
can
definitely
outplay
see
your opponent
it.
to bring home a win. Let's jump into Team KO, our 3v3 mode. Teamwork makes the dream work in Knockout City. If your crew is outmatched, a well-coordinated team can still dominate. We're playing in Back Alley Brawl, a new map that you'll find in our upcoming crossplay beta. The special
like the
ball for
wings.
this match is the Sniper Ball, which locks onto targets from far across the map and wham! You can take them out before they have a chance
I like
to react.
ragdolls as well.
Beyond special
That's
balls,
always funny.
each map features a unique mechanic. Rally your crew and sign up for our crossplay beta at knockoutcity.com.
Oh,
to play early on
crossplay.
PlayStation.
That's good.
See you soon, brawlers.
Okay. I would check that out, but I know I don't have the time. But we'll see. We'll see. I thought for sure
Time for
though. I
something
legit
new.
thought that was
Here's your first
one of
look
those,
at an
like,
upcoming PS5
Nintendo
game from the team at Slowclack.
indie deals. Because I thought it was gonna be like it's the dodgeball equivalent of whatever that one game was that I cannot think of right now, where you can like blow the bubble gum and stuff like that. I thought for sure that it was just like, oh, it's like another evolution of that, where it's in that sort of Splatoon sort of realm, cartoony style, and it's free and stuff. I was just about to say, this seems like it has martial arts, which means I'm excited. Oddly, it looks slow. I wasn't expecting him to just throw the pipe across the hallway. Oh, okay. Interesting. I wonder if that's actually a story element. Okay. Seafood. Yeah, I'm buying. I'm probably buying that. I'm probably gonna end up buying that. PS5 and PS4. I like the arts. I like the sort of the painting art style. It looks really cool.
Later this year.
They have the coolest,
get an
most
update on
useless
Solar Ash, an epic new
background
PS5
things with
adventure
this
from
like
Heart Machine.
conveyor belt of the buttons. Like that looks so cool and it's so pointless. And I was excited for this one. I love the style of this game. And I don't know if I don't think Annapurna is the same group that did what the heck was that game called?
Hey everyone, I'm Alex.
I can't remember the name.
creative
Fury.
director of Heart
I
Machine.
don't remember if that was him. I don't think it
Team
was,
behind Hyperlight
but
Drifter.
this definitely
Today,
looks
I'm here
like
to show
it.
you the first peek at gameplay for our new title, Solar Ash.
It's got that sort of style.
Solar Ash.
I'm sure there's a trophy in it. Just get all the little, but it's not bubblegum, but that's
As
what
you
I think
journey
of.
to save your
Like the
planet,
little
you'll find yourself
bubblegum
face
deals.
to face with grotesque and violent creatures. Our combat system is simple, fast, and fluid, built to empower players and encourage flow.
This game should also have a
As
photo
you
mode.
explore the Ultra Void,
I feel like I'm
enemy
gonna be saying that a
encounters
lot
will
today.
scale to great.
I like the idea of the clouds. I think that's really cool. Where it's like you can technically walk on it, but there's a lot of things you can do with that artistically. Whereas like, yes, she has the ability to skate
Solar
on
Ash
it,
is Heart
but
Machine's vision of the adventure
it's also just
platformer.
clouds.
The
Like
giant spaces,
anything could just
field
pop up out of
movement,
nowhere.
flow
Like
of
they could.
combat,
There's a lot
and
of story
high-stakes
elements
battles
that
atop
that
enormous
you can play
beasts
around with when you
all
do
come
something
together
like
to
that.
bring players something we think is incredibly unique.
I like the
and more
design for
importantly,
sure.
Fun.
That looks cool. Very manga style.
This game is a labor of love for everyone on the Heart Machine team. We're excited to bring Solar Ash to PS5 and PS4 later this year.
Very cool art style. Once again, photo mode
If you're a fan
for
of
sure.
scary games,
Definitely a photo
this
mode
next
type of
one
thing.
is for you.
This is probably gonna be Resident Evil. Oh, it's not. That's better. Because I'm already getting Resident Evil.
You were small, pathetic, but now you are more. Are you ready?
Oh, this is the new Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy game. Five Nights Laser Tag. Pizzaplex. I'm actually curious about this one because it seems like it's going to be a different sort of gameplay style. So I'm curious what it's actually going to end up being. And it seems like you actually run into another human being, which is very interesting.
Gregory, we can get you out of here. You and me together.
Weird sort of co-op deal or something. That would be interesting.
They won't stop hunting you. None of them will stop hunting you.
Visually, I think this is super cool. It has a lot of potential.
Do as I say. You will bring me what I want. And if you fail me, then you will. Both of you burn!
It has a lot of good potential to be very, very creepy, to have them actually chasing you around and not just be in the security room, which I think quite a few people are used to at this point. So I like the idea. That should be interesting. It's actually like a first-person horror experience.
That was a chilling new look at
And it
Five
looks
Nights
cool.
at Freddy's
I
Security
love
Breach.
the neon
Up next, let's take a tour of Oddworld
laser tag
Soulstorm.
pizzeria aesthetic. Like it looks super cool. I actually like that, but
Hi,
I'll
I'm
watch
Noah
somebody
Lanning,
play it. I know I won't buy
creative
it, but I'm like,
director at Oddworld and Happy. Today,
I'm
gonna
excited.
take you on a brief
I'm
tour of our
curious.
newest game,
Can't say excited, but I'm
Oddworld
curious.
Starting in April. PS5 version
Oh,
for no extra cost, starting in April.
Pretty sure my thing is
Moving
yeah.
on.
Oh, I don't know what
It's
happened
time
there.
to catch up
Okay.
with Kena Bridge of Spirits, a
I
gorgeous new
mentioned this
adventure we
at
last
some
saw
point
on
in
the
some
June
other
PS5
video.
showcase.
But if you have PlayStation Plus and you don't have a PS5 yet, go to PlayStation Online and you can get all the PS5 free games. You can't get the ones that are PS Collection, but you can get the PS Plus games and they'll just add them to your library. Like I have, I really wanted to make sure I got Destruction All-Stars. I was gonna say PlayStation All-Stars, that's different. But I got Destruction All-Stars. I have Control Control Ultimate Edition on PS4 and on PS5. And whatever that third game was, whatever it was, the genie thing, I have that too. Which that's on PS4. I could have got that anyway, but you can get all the PS5 games even if you don't have a PS5. You just have to go online and you're good to go. They'll just boom, add it to your library. You have a boatload of games when you pick up your PS5.
Hello, Spirit. I seek passage to the Sacred Mountain Shrine.
I'm curious about this one too.
Our village is bound to the shrine's energy.
And that guy's audio is super low.
But that power faded long ago.
Like he's talking like her. Okay. A more action-oriented Pikmin. With admittedly cuter Pikmin. I think they're cuter than the Pikmin, I gotta be honest.
Tangled in the tragedies of our past. You must help these spirits if you wish to reach the mountain shrine.
It's okay. You have to go now.
Photo mode, once again, yeah, photo mode. Well, I like that where it, like the bars came in. I thought that was cool. It was a nice little cinematic touch.
This land can be healed, but you cannot stay here, Spirit. You must move on.
That's a heck of a way to go. This has me really intrigued about the story. With them showing like, oh, you have to restore the world and the way that it actually affects humans. Like it was like, oh, PS4. Yeah, I missed that. That's my bad. I wasn't expecting that. It definitely it kind of brought things together. I'm excited for Deathloop. But it kind of brought things together like, no, the humans really are more affected by this. So I'm excited for that.
Just you, me.
I really want this game. This is like, I'm getting this game for sure. I love Dishonored, even though I haven't beaten Dishonored 2. That's just a time thing. I started playing and then I just stopped. I probably got like 2 levels too.
Handsome asshole trying to break our loop. Cold. The visionaries are ready to dance. Are you?
I like the aesthetic. I want to know the story. I'm still curious about this weird asymmetric multiplayer. Is there anyone that might be your friend? Like, is there anyone in this loop that's like trying to help Cole? 60s aesthetic. Oh, that's cool. Just look like a regular enemy. That's smart. Copyright, dang. But that don't matter. I don't make money. I say that every time. I don't, so it's cool. Oh, we got the theme song. I love the guns combining thing. That's so cool to me. I feel like that's the first time we got like an actual up close shot of her. I didn't realize she was so hot. Dang, he just... That's effed up. When someone just comes in and is like, here's a grenade, and they just leave, your death is very disrespectful if somebody does that to you. I feel like I'm the only person like amped for this game. Every time I watch somebody talk about it on YouTube, everybody's just like, nah. I'm like, how are people not all in on this? It looks amazing. Like, it's a simple premise, but just the potential, especially with it coming from the people that did Dishonored, I think everybody would be all over this. Like, it looks amazing to me. I'm like, it's a Deathloop game set in the 60s. Why is he in this Deathloop? That in itself is a question. How long does it take to get through the Deathloop? What's the deal with this woman who's like the sole murderer of this guy where she can die and she keeps coming back? It's just interesting. I feel weird. I'm like, I feel like I'm on an island by myself. Like, how is everyone not like salivating over that game? It looks amazing.
A huge update for one of 2020's most celebrated games.
Oh, I'd actually seen this, that it was getting an update. I haven't played this, so for me, this is like, oh, okay. I didn't care to play it. I haven't played it. I don't care to play it. I don't care. They're in Kingdom Hearts. I've seen enough of them. I'm good. that's just where I am. I'm like, it'll be cool at some point in my life. I'm sure I'll play this remake. You know, I played a decent chunk of the original. And it was some part where I got stuck. It's like the part where you leave one, it's like you're going into the next chunk of the game and you get literally surrounded on all sides, and I could not beat that part, and then I hadn't played it since. And it was my uncle's copy, so after that it was just done. Although that's Yuffie, it looked like.
Materia Hunter and Elite Special Forces operative.
Yuffie was always my favorite. His graphics do look crazy though.
They're the ones who blew up the reactors.
I love that she's wearing that outfit. That's funny to me.
No, better not. After what they've done, you gotta assume Shinra's on their tail.
Look, a Moogle!
Stop! We gotta help.
Oh dang. Well, I didn't know I was gonna be playing as Yuffie. Well, now things have changed. Because I've always wanted to have a game where I could play as Yuffie. Where I'm not gonna lie, it's obviously because she was the ninja character and she had the shuriken. A giant shuriken. I guess I can set some time aside. I can play as Yuffie. I'll allow it. I will allow it.
Now, let the hunt begin.
What does that mean? All right, whatever. I guess I'll spend money on it. Jesus.
Get down here, Merc.
If it didn't take so long for the game to come out, I probably would have bought it. Like, there's just too much stuff already. Graphics on PlayStation 5. Does this not have photo mode? I don't think it does. I feel like I would have heard about that. As Angry Joe might say, that looked good. I feel like I'm watching IGN right now. Like, plus the PS5 and PlayStation 4 comparison graphics. I love that they used that scene. That's so funny to me. feel like I saw a little bit of ray tracing there. There were more reflections. Okay. And it's Tifa and Yuffie in 4K. Okay, okay. Well, I guess that's a purchase. There we go. That's going on the list. Yep. I get photo mode and Yuffie and 4K at 60 frames. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to. I think I'm only gonna have to buy games that have photo mode now. That seems to be the thing.
That's how ninjas do it.
And Resident Evil. I think that'll be it from now on. Photo mode or Resident Evil or Bayonetta or Devil May Cry is in there now. And carry over your saved data. Crazy.
That was the reveal of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, coming to the PS5 console later this year. And that's our show.
And that's it. Get the F out.
As we are for what's to come in 2021. See you next time.
Okay. Okay. Play has its limits. I understand. All right. So that was okay. It was definitely, as far as I'm concerned at least, that was like a million times better than the Nintendo Direct, where I was just bored the whole time, where I was just like, Smash Brothers character and 2 new waifus. That was nice. That was really cool. Love Splatoon. There was something else in there that caught my interest, but obviously not that much. I don't remember what it was. As far as this though, we got to see more Returnal, which I thought was good to see. I felt like we didn't see a ton of stuff that like blew me away or anything. Like, in all honesty, oddly enough, that new trailer they just put out, I felt showed just as much as they did in their actual little kind of gameplay segment, because I was like, okay, you know, the whole thing with her going to the house, it was literally that part, like it was that line from the trailer. It was like, oh, the very first time the house shows up, they just didn't show her walk in. So I thought that was cool. And it does make me wonder, with the way that they showed it, I think every moment in the house is first person, because that, I believe, was in the premiere trailer from the Game Awards. It was like, then it was like, oh, this make you, because it was like, oh, it makes me think of PT, because it looked like it was just, you know, the corridor. I keep bumping this. Obviously, I'm still getting the hang of this whole setup. I literally just moved the microphone from here to here because I was just trying to figure it out. I was like, I need to have something that's permanent, and I think I got it. I just don't know. But I thought it was good. I thought what they showed there was good. Obviously, the Final Fantasy stuff actually really caught my interest. I'm a sucker for photo mode. I'll be 100% honest about that. I'm an absolute sucker when it comes to photo mode for any game. But I already had a bit of interest in it because it was like, it's Final Fantasy VII. I kind of played a little bit of it, not a lot, but I played like a tiny bit. And I was curious. I was like, okay, they're bringing it back. They're combining turn-based combat with real-time combat. So that was definitely my thing, because I'm not a big turn-based guy. So when that was brought up too, I was like, oh, well, that just makes me want to jump in even more. And obviously the graphics look amazing. And now PS5 graphics, 4K, targeting 60 frames. That's something that I'm really excited for, because I was actually, oddly enough, I was watching a podcast earlier where some people were talking about, you know, like with the first couple of games that we've gotten, you know, Miles Morales and things like that, specifically PS5, there's been a lot of choosing. Like, do you choose 60 frames per second, or do you choose 4K 30 frames per second? Because you get, you know, epic ray tracing and stuff like that. So with this whole optimization thing, specifically the games that they showed here, it seemed like they're like, all right, we know that that's what people want. And I think it was Crash who was the one, it specifically said targeting 60 frames, so it won't always be there, but that's fine. I mean, that's kind of what you expect, especially very beginning of this new console generation. By the time we get to the end with whatever games are going to be coming out, by the time we hit that point, like whatever that new Capcom game is that I can't think of, that I definitely thought was Dead Space. It reminded me of Dead Space because of the suit. And then I'm pretty sure that secretly Kojima Productions working with Capcom, because I'm like, this looks exactly like the engine from Death Stranding. That hasn't come up yet, but I'm like, I can't remember the name of that game, but I'm like, I feel like this is Death Stranding. There's something going on there. There's some mystery going on with that. So don't be shocked if whatever that game is that I can't remember totally involves Kojima, because I'm like, this is the Death Stranding engine, 100%. So we'll see what happens with that. But with some of the stuff that's kind of been getting teased here, I'm excited to see exactly how these games play out, like what the optimization truly ends up being. And it makes it kind of feel like we're truly next gen when it's like, all right, we're hitting 4K, we're targeting 60 frames, and I think that's really cool. So that was really good to see. But yeah, they got me. Photo mode. I'm a sucker for photo mode, so photo mode got me. This little dodgeball game, like I said, I thought that was a Nintendo exclusive. I thought for sure it was that free indie space, like we got Splatoon is like our big thing, but we also have like this ninja bubblegum game, Ninjala, that's the name of it. And then I thought this was going to be like, oh, it's dodgeball, that's cool. And now it's like an indie thing. It's an actual indie company. They've been working on it for years. It has crossplay, which I also think is great. So I'm curious. I'm definitely going to check out some videos. It just doesn't, I don't know. I feel like the teams need to be bigger too. Like they said 3-on-3, but I feel like there's probably more than that as well, because otherwise it's just 1-on-1 and then 3-on-3 and that's it. So I'm sure they have more than that. So we'll just see. I'll just watch some beta videos on that, kind of like I did Ninjala, and we'll just see what ends up happening with it. So I'm okay with it. It's just like, oh, okay, it's not just on Switch. So we'll see what happens. Favorite shock of the whole thing is this Sifu game. I mentioned it looked a little slow. Just the way they were showing the combat, I was like, it looks oddly slow. The way that it was kind of just going through. I'm sure it'll feel better, even if it is a bit methodical. If you're the one hitting the buttons, everything is it's different when you feel it versus when you just watch it. But they were like, let's just do a martial arts, hallway action sequence. I'm like, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And then he got knocked out, and then he aged, and I'm like, okay, so do you age every time you lose? Is this like an actual part of the story? I'm just very curious, like what's happening with this character, where it's like, oh, he passed out, boom, facial hair. Is it, or like how does that truly affect the story? Like, do you just age? That would be an interesting mechanic. Every time you die, you age, so you may or may not actually get to the end of the story. I think that's interesting. Probably have a bit of leeway with it, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. It's a martial arts game. I love this sort of painting stroke art style. Like, I'm watching the trailer again. I love this sort of painting stroke art style. That just looks good. So I'm very excited to see more of this game. It's 2021 as well. That feels like just to be super artsy with it, get it on PS5, because I think it'll look really good. So I'm excited for that. Let's see what else. Solar Ash looked good. I felt like it just looks good, and I'm curious about it. It didn't like hook me where I'm like, okay, let me definitely pick this game up, but it looks good. So we'll see about that. Going forward, let's see what's the next thing. I'm not gonna get Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't care that much. I'm just curious to watch someone else play. I'll watch Marker Jack play, and it is what it is. I really don't care about Oddworld. No offense to that franchise. I know there are people that really love it, and I know it's that franchise that's like, it takes a long time for it to get like another release or even a remake. So I'm happy for those people. I played like the first one on the Xbox, or maybe it was the second one. I'm not even sure which one is the second. Maybe that was the third one. I think the original one is actually like super, super old at this point, but it's coming out and I don't care. So it's that. And that's really about it for that one. What is the name of this game? The bridge game, something Spirit Kenna. There it is. Kenna looks good. Like I mentioned, I like the fact that they seem to be including more of the story elements. I like that idea, getting to see how it really does affect the humans. I was like, all right, it's not just a character goes out on her own. It's like, no, she talks to people. We see that there are people that literally get taken over as they're kind of just wandering through. So I'm excited to see how that kind of impacts the story. Deathloop, I'm already 100% on Deathloop. I'm still just trying to figure out why everyone else isn't. Like I don't need to see more. I'm gonna listen to this song again, by the way, because I thought it was actually a decent song. Didn't realize that the one was like so insanely attractive, because she really is. So yeah, that sucks. I gotta kill her a bunch, but it is what it is. And then Final Fantasy, they got photo mode, they got Yuffie, so I have to buy it now. I really don't have much of a choice, but it was decent. I definitely enjoyed it. Nothing that like blew my mind. aside from the fact that it was like, crap, they actually, like me saying photo mode 4 times, it actually happened at the end. It's like, dang, they got me, because I was already like, oh, that's, you know, it was on the list, but now it's like, you know, there's always a step up. Once photo mode is introduced, I'm like, well, that's always a step up, you know. So that's unfortunate for my wallet. It's an unfortunate year for my wallet. You know, I've been getting into Hot Toys, and if you don't know what Hot Toys are, I'm sorry I just said that. I won't even explain it. You can look it up on your own. But yeah, I'm excited. Yuffie, photo mode, 4K, 60 frames per second, and then we'll just see what happens. We'll see how long the extra DLC is and stuff like that, how much it costs as well, what the value is. It seems like it's, you know, they even call it integrate, but it seems like it ties into the story, so it's a side story before they actually meet up with the characters, going into, you know, technically the rest of Final Fantasy VII. So seems cool. It's Yuffie, like I said, she was always my favorite just because she was the ninja character and she's cute, so you know, that's always easy for me. But I'll have to get it now. I don't have much of a choice, and it has photo mode, so that really gets me. It's like, dang, you hit me with photo mode for a game that already looks good, was already technically on my list, and now I have a million options, filters, and this and that. I have to get it. So it was a good way to end it out. It was definitely more than I was expecting. Knowing that, you know, Final Fantasy VII was getting like an update, I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, that's cool, you know, it's getting an update, and there was gonna be like, I thought it was gonna be like a little bit, and then it was like, no, we're doing like a full-on DLC. You get more characters, photo mode, you know, quality of life type of improvements. So I think that's great. I'm very curious. I'm gonna have to look up some videos. I am curious how people are gonna feel about this with it coming to PS5. Well, it does have the free upgrade, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, if you have it, you're good to go. So that's another thing. I mean, the only people that didn't do that were, oddly enough, 505 Games with Control. I feel like they're literally the only people that didn't do a free upgrade, and that's about it. Other than that, everybody else did free upgrades, not counting Spider-Man, but they actually remastered that game. Plus, they had to add in like new Spider-Man face. Personal opinion, obviously, I don't have a choice but to deal with it, so it is what it is. But I like the state of play. I thought it was decent. I would have liked more, but I honestly wasn't expecting anything like mind-blowing. Like, the Final Fantasy VII thing was as close as we got to like, holy crap, because I wasn't expecting like DLC for the game. I don't know if anyone, I'm sure tons of people were actually, but me being way outside the loop, I wasn't at all. And then this was like, here's a lot of improvements. We are, you know, truly optimizing this game. So that's definitely cool, because it already looks really, really good. And I would love to see this. I have to find this because they always do these in like 1080p, 60 frames, which I admittedly don't really understand. I'm like, why is it this automatically in 4K? I know there's a 4K version of this already out by now. So I just find that weird that every time it premieres, it's always in 1080p, which I guess is so it's easier for everyone to watch. Not that you couldn't choose your options, but I just always found that weird. I'm like, it's so weird to me that every time they premiere, it's in 1080p, and then you find the 4K version later. So I'm excited to actually watch it in 4K to see the differences even better. But you can tell, even in 1080p, you can see the clear differences in, you know, like the fog even, you know, they showed. But I'm excited for it. So I think that looks really good. I like the state of play. Would have loved something else. You know, would have loved to have seen a little tease at God of War. But yeah, I don't see that one coming 2021. It's very unfortunate, but I don't really see it happening. But those are my thoughts on the PlayStation state of play that really seemed like it just came out of effing nowhere. So I would love to know your thoughts on the state of play. What do you guys think of it as far as new announcements? You know, the Sifu thing. Was there anything in this that kind of piqued your interest a little bit more? Maybe some of the Returnal stuff, maybe Deathloop. Am I still on an island by myself? I just feel insane. I feel really weird. Like, how is it that I'm like the only person that's like, yes, day one, maybe, you know, if I got the money, day one. But yeah, I really wanted to get that game so bad. Like, just the aesthetic and the idea. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Back to the Future guy. I like anything that's time-based. I'm just like, I gotta see it. I gotta see if you did it right or you did it wrong, because Back to the Future. So it's like Back to the Future's up here, and then everything else is like, do you stand the test of time? So I don't know. Maybe that's a part of it. I'm a sucker for time stories, but it's also by the people that made Dishonored. And then and it seems like it's very Dishonored based. It seems more Dishonored than it does Prey, which I think is a good thing. Prey I thought was okay. And that was just from watching people play it. I was just like, this just doesn't, like, it certainly didn't hook me, not nearly as much as Dishonored. clearly, because I actually own Dishonored and not Prey. But this looks more the Dishonored route, plus its 60s aesthetic, plus time loop story. So I'm excited for that one, but we'd love to know your thoughts. We didn't get anything from Ghostwire Tokyo. That's one that just popped into my head. That one I'm very curious about. The whole third person switching in the first, or no, it's only first person. I think a lot of people like myself, horror game, we expected it, especially with it being action, we expected it to be like an action horror third person game, and that's not the case. It is first person, so that's odd, and sadly we didn't get to see much of that. I mean, it involves Japan, which that's like one of my favorite places on earth, and it also involves horror, which is my favorite genre. So like those two things together, I really want to see more of that game. So hopefully it's not delayed, there are no issues, and maybe something will be coming up sooner rather than later where we get a bit more info on that. Other than that, I don't think there's much I can really think of. I thought we'd see more Resident Evil. I'm kind of surprised. Like we obviously don't need to, but I'm still kind of shocked that they were just like, hey, just in case you only got a couple months, Resident Evil, remember that demo, Resident Evil, because it's Resident Evil. So I was kind of surprised, even though we really don't need it. I was still kind of surprised we didn't get anything from that, but we'll love to know your thoughts on this state of play. Favorite parts, least favorite parts. What are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to? Like I said, did this do anything to help you out? Do you wish that we got to see something? Like I said, Ghostwire Tokyo wasn't there. Was there something else that you wish we got some updates for? Even if it was super crazy. If you thought like, boom, God of War, release date type of trailer, like I never would have expected that, which would have been insane. I feel like if that happened, I would have easily been spoiled about that for sure. But we'd love to know your thoughts on it. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.